Lock and load, America. This is COTUS Unfiltered.
I was born, see a look in my eye, a modern day gunslinger, I ain't afraid to die. Better start running when you hear my rebel yell. I don't care who your maker is, I'm sending you to hell.
Hi everyone, I'm Woody from Mad World. Well, we did one on the First Amendment, so you knew this one was coming, am I right? For anyone who knows me, they know I own a few guns. I've got this one that I carry every day with me, everywhere I go. I've got this one because, I like to go duck hunting every now and then. Of course, there's this one because every once in a while I do like to go deer hunting. There's this one because home invaders. And there's this one because they won't let me own anything bigger. And of course I have this one to carry out my duty in the militia. Now, no other part of the Constitution has generated more controversy than the Second Amendment. Both those who support and those who do not take certain parts of it and use it to support their argument. But like everything else in the Constitution, it has to be taken into context, and the entire amendment has to be read, not just the part in which you agree or disagree with. Now, the Second Amendment states, a well-regulated militia, being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Again, the supporters of this amendment always seem to focus on the right to keep and bear arms. It's the beginning of it that is the most important and the reason for the Second Amendment in the first place. Let's start off with a well-regulated militia. In today's modern terminology, regulate has come to mean restricted by the government or imposing. It's become a pejorative in a sense. When the Constitution was written, 85% of the American population were farmers. So in other words, when these amendments were made, they were written so that farmers in fields could understand them with little to no education. The actual definition of regulate means to make regular. The Founding Fathers believed that a standing army was one of the greatest threats to liberty and freedom that this country could have. In order to facilitate the needs of the defense of the country, the militia system was established. In times of war, when the army was needed, the militia we called from the several states at the behest of the government, the federal government that is, and the state governments. All these various state militias were to be trained in a similar way using similar tactics and equipment in order to raise an army when needed and called upon by the government, the federal government of the United States. Hence the term regulate. Well regulate. Everyone trained the same with the same tactics and the same equipment. Now today we have a standing army. We have for I don't even know how many years. And the militia, even under the current U.S. code, is encompassed of all able-bodied males between the ages of 16 and 45. Many states also have this same provision in their own state constitutions. But Woody, isn't the National Guard the militia? Well, yes and no. You see, again, depending on which state you reside in, the militia can often be different from the National Guard. Now, as many of you already know, I live in the state of Idaho. It is in our own state statutes that differentiate between the militia and the National Guard. In the state of Idaho, the militia is actually anyone not serving in the National Guard or active duty military. As I stated before, the Founding Fathers believed that a standing army was the greatest threat to freedom and liberty in this new country. So the militia was ultimately the final line of defense, if you will, to ensure that the federal government and the standing army could not trump and deny the rights and liberty of the people. So now we go back to the portion of a well-regulated militia. Now you know. The next part is being necessary to the security of a free state. Keep in mind again the words used here. Security of a free state, not protection of the government, security of a free state, meaning the people are ultimately responsible for their own security and protection. If the Redcoats were to invade tomorrow, they knew that the well-trained militia of the various states would be able to repel said invasion until an army could be raised. Now again, it could be said that today we have a large standing army. This is true. However, when you factor in the millions of people living in this country not serving in the armed forces, those to which under the U.S. code are the militia, the army is still greatly outnumbered. So this moves along to our next point, the right of the people to keep and bear arms. Again, if the militia is the people, then the people's right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed, meaning everybody, every American citizen, that's you and me people, has the right to keep and bear arms. Again, I don't know why so many people find this to be antiquated or outdated, but it's right there in black and white. Again, this is one of those rights that it is the duty of the federal government to protect, not trample on, not impose, not restrict, to protect. So these are a few things to consider the next time you hear about the Second Amendment. I'm Woody from Mad World. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share with your friends. And I'll see you next time.
And lawyers, guns, and money.